Good morning, welcome back to the channel. My name is Josh. Today we're going to be talking about the things I don't like about this rooftop tent. Before we get started, make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe, turn on all notifications so you get notified every single time I make a new video. Let's get started. This is an Alpha 2 from Tuff Stuff Overland. Now, Tuff Stuff Overland has three different types of tents. They have the Alpha 2, the Alpha, and the Stealth. Now, the Alpha 2 is designed for basically like 3 people, 2 adults and like 1 child. But for me, it sleeps myself, my dog, and my son. The first thing I don't like about this rooftop tent, the hardshell. There are different brands out there with different versions of hard shells. One of the biggest things I can't stand that Alpha hasn't done on the hard shell tent is offer a bed liner spray. If you go on the forums, there's so many people talking about how they've had cracks and experienced issues with the hard shell in general, just being that it's not very sturdy, it's not very durable. And that for me is the biggest thing that I just can't stand. I'm actually going to be spraying the hard shell with a rhino liner just to help protect the integrity of it. That is something that Alpha needs to do when they do a revision of their tents, is offer an option for the consumer. Why does that even matter? Why does this bed liner spray even matter? People that have this tent that live in harsh conditions, the bed liner coat just helps protect that from the elements versus not having it. Tons of people have been commenting on the various forums with these specific tents in general that they're having cracks, they're having all different types of problems, and 90% of it is it's coming from the side edges. I know that may sound little, but that is a huge thing when you're paying such a huge investment with a rooftop tent. You want to be able to have all different types of amenities and things that you could offer to just help protect your investment. I'm really hoping that Tuff Stuff Overland in the future offers something like this where they give you that option where you don't have to do it yourself to save a little bit of money. But if you choose to do the bed liner spray yourself, you can order something like I'm gonna do off of Amazon, which is a little package deal, and I think it's like less than 200 bucks. Now, the easiest way to go about that is you sand the hard shell and then you're going to spray it with an adhesive. The promoter just promotes on the plastic so that it sticks, so that when you actually do the application and spray the bed liner, the bed liner spray sticks to that promoter. The next thing I don't like about my rooftop tent is these security latches. Now, the Alpha 2 comes with 2 of those latches, one on the left side and then one on the right. Though they may look durable and long-lasting and they help provide security and protection, honestly, these things are absolutely useless and do not help with any of that. Now, if you can see what I'm talking about, the latch right here that it attaches to literally is just super easy to just pry off because it's at a bent 45-degree angle. It's super easy, just take a screwdriver and pry it off. I really hope that in the future that Tuff Stuff doesn't overlook this. I just want to see a more sturdy, heavy-duty latch that's included on these tents like other brands have done. Now, this might not be a deal breaker for some people, but for me, this is a huge thing. That it's not a crappy design. I just hope that they improve that in the future. The third thing I don't like about this tent is these Velcro straps. Here is the back ones that are right next to my window. These are the 2 latches that are on the side. Then, of course, you have the front straps right next to the security latches. And we'll move into the back where these ones are at. And these ones are right between my awning. It takes a little bit more time when you're setting off the rooftop tent. For me, I think that that's super inconvenient, having multiple straps everywhere. Like, they say that you could, you know, undo this thing in like less than 2 or 3 minutes, which you probably can. I haven't been able to do that yet, simply because of these straps. That just kind of prolongs my time a little bit. Not, again, that's not a deal breaker, but that's something that I hope that they can improve on. Maybe just adding some heavy-duty latches on maybe one side each, and then the 2 front. I think that that would be sufficient. The fourth thing I don't like about my rooftop tent is this Underseal gap. This gap is atrocious. If you live in certain areas, I live in Arizona, so having this gap is going to increase the chances of having bugs, mice, bees, all kinds of different critters, including the elements, to be exposed to your rooftop tent. I can't stand it. I've seen people say, hey, just put a piece of foam in there and, you know, whatnot. For me, come on, this is a almost, what, $3,000 tent? There is no reason that I need to spend any more extra money and stick a tiny little piece of crap foam inside here because the gap is too large. Now this gap is large enough for my entire hand to fit in there. That is unacceptable. All the way around, on that side, on this side, coming over here, on this side. This is a huge problem, Tuff Stuff. And look how it bends out. I mean, this is a lot of the reason, in my personal opinion, that people are getting cracks, because this pops out. Now this gap borders the entire side on the left and over here on the right of the tent. It is super frustrating for me, constantly seeing this, constantly worrying about, oh, am I gonna have critters in there? You constantly gotta check. I know that that may sound like something that you're not gonna be worried about, but that is a huge thing for me. When you look at other rooftop tents and other competitors, not every one of them has a giant underseal like that. And that is just a deal breaker for me. I can't stand it. And I really, really, really hope, Tuff Stuff Overland, that you change this and you do something about it. The fifth thing I can't stand about my rooftop tent, it's just not able to hold a solar panel if you want to put mounts on it. Now, there are people that are putting flexible solar panels on top, which is really cool. Again, I think that that's something that Tuff Stuff Overland could maybe not overlook and consider, and doing as an option when you're buying these rooftop tents is adding on a solar panel that's been done straight from the factory that they're able to warranty out. People with the Alpha 1, the 4-man, are able to stick a 175 watt Renogy solar panel right on top of this roof. For me, I unfortunately bought a Renogy 175 watts flexible solar panel and had to send it back. And that was my fault. I should have measured, and when I measured, I did the wrong measurements. And this roof is just too small for a 175 watt. Now, I didn't want to put a 100 watt or anything like that. I wanted more because I'm out camping and whatnot, and I need to be able to charge things, so I wanted a larger solar panel. It had the amenity and the capability to provide me with that power, charging various different things. Now, something else that people are talking about in these rooftop tents, the mattress. It's not really a deal breaker for me. I sleep quite comfortably because I add extra foam and padding when I'm sleeping. I think that that's something, though, that's pretty vital for a lot of people. A lot of people want to sleep super comfortable in their rooftop tent, whether it's out in the cold, out in the heat, whatever. I think that that's something that Tuff Stuff could look into, is changing the mattress and adding something that's a little bit more thicker or gives you more comfort, because that's one thing a lot of people are complaining about. Now, when I purchased my rooftop tent, I did include the mat for the anti-condensation. I think that that's something that, honestly, Tuff Stuff shouldn't even charge for. They should do that themselves and put that in there. I know that brands, you know, need to include certain things, different amenities that you can add on. But again, when you're putting in an investment, something like that should just come included. Now, I've also read that people don't like the window system. For me, I would think that the only thing that I think Tuff Stuff could change when it comes to the window situation is the poles. Poles can be a complete disaster at times trying to put in. And again, there's another competitor that just released a new different version of a pole, and it has basically a 45-degree angle bend on it, so it goes into the slots a lot easier. Now, though, there are some things I just can't stand about this rooftop tent. For the most part, for me, I like this tent. It's been super comfortable. I've used it several times. We're getting ready in May to go up to the Overland Expo. I have been super pleased with this tent. I wouldn't go back and change it and go purchase a different tent. I've read and heard horror stories from other brands of people just not being happy and pleasant. And that's one thing that I will say hands down with Tuff Stuff Overland, is they have an amazing staff. Any question that you have, they are more than willing to help you figure that out, fix the situation, and even if they mess up a situation, they will correct it. I've had a situation where when I ordered the tent, it came with the wrong bolts. I called Tuff Stuff, boom, within like a day, they were already being shipped. So Tuff Stuff Overland, in my opinion, has hands down the best customer service experience that money can buy. I will stay a loyal customer to Tuff Stuff Overland in the future. I just want to see some different changes. I think that something maybe even cool to add down the line in the list is Tuff Stuff Overland has a rooftop tent called the Stealth. I would love to see a smaller version of the Stealth. That is a very heavy duty shell that they have, and that would be super cool to see that maybe down the line. I hope that this kind of gave you guys some thought into maybe your experience with Tuff Stuff, and I'd love to hear what your guys' feedback is, what you can't stand about your Tuff Stuff Alpha Overland rooftop tents. Comment down below in the description and let me know. Let's kind of talk about it, and hoping that Tuff Stuff Overland sees this video. They will take our thoughts and things we're talking about and apply it to other versions coming out in the future. That's gonna wrap up today's video on the Tuff Stuff Overland Alpha 2, things I don't like about this rooftop tent. So I hope you guys have a great weekend, great time. It was great to see you guys. We'll see you next video. Bye-bye.